I'm Pete Nowaski, and I'm here at the Donnie Smith Show in St. Paul, Minnesota. And in this video, we're going to introduce Curtis Hoffman with Hoffman Designs and talk about the relationship Hoffman and Nowaski have in the performance motorcycle industry.
It's Curtis with Hoffman Designs here, and we are at the 2025 Donnie Smith Invitational Bike Show here in St. Paul, Minnesota.
How long have you been coming to the Donnie Smith Show, and what does it mean for you to be here as a vendor?
So this event, I think we've been coming here, I want to say since 2000, well, I've been coming here since I was a kid, but we've been set up as a vendor since I want to say 2010, I think was our first year setting up here. This is one of those shows, especially in the Midwest here. I mean, you walk around, you look at everything, it's just big, right? Like everything about this event is, you know, you got cool bikes, you got, you know, the best vendors, you've got a showcase full of bikes. You really got a huge swap meet. I mean, it is just kind of the mecca of the Midwest when it comes to an indoor motorcycle event for 2 days. So, right, you got a lot of guys come in from out of town, you know, and things like that. I mean, yesterday we had, you know, Billy Lane was here, right? So, and you know, Dave Perowitz is here every year. Obviously, Donnie's here. You know, a lot of industry guys and stuff that you get to walk around with, mingle with, hang out. You get to see the guys that you see, you know, in magazines and all that type of stuff. So it's just it's an incredible event, you know, in Minnesota, right?
Have you been coming to the show since you were a kid? I mean, what was that like?
I have been coming here at least since I can remember coming here in 2002. So that's well over 20 years already. So it's 2025. So 2001, 2002, I remember coming here when I was in high school.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So yeah, it's just every year you got to do it.
For those who might not know, can you explain just the background on Hoffman, how long you guys have been around, kind of what your specialties are, things like that?
Yeah, so I mean, Hoffman Designs has been around since 2009, so we're literally in our 16th year in business. I've been doing this my entire life, but I opened Hoffman Designs in 2009. You know, we were a service shop for a while. We built some early kind of pro streets, choppers kind of stuff. Did a lot of service and repair early on. You know, and then we got into like some big wheel bagger stuff. You know, did that for a handful of years. Did some really trick stuff there. And then in about 2015, I decided, you know what, I'm done with big wheel baggers. You know, I'm not having fun riding them. I gotta have fun doing this. I don't feel like I'm creative anymore. So we switched really and kind of went full speed with performance baggers. So we built a handful of them, you know, using the best components out there. But for me, my style is, the bike's gotta have style, right? You gotta have a look. Well, performance baggers were all about that nitty gritty. Okay, you're gonna have big brakes, you're gonna have a big motor, you're gonna have killer suspension and stuff like that, but the bike's still gonna look stock, right? You're not gonna go put stretch bags on it and stretch fenders. So I'm like, we've got to do something different, right? And I'm looking, and I've always been a car guy, and I'm like, well, supercars and you know, Corvettes and Highline cars and luxury cars, all these, they're loaded with carbon fiber. Why aren't we doing carbon fiber? Because that lends hand in hand with that performance, you know, aspect of a Porsche 911 or, you know, even a Ducati, right? Like these bikes have carbon on them, and you know, it's like, we got to make these bikes look cool. You know, we're doing better suspension and better brakes and better motors and all that, better ergonomics. Well, now let's make them look cool. So in, you know, 2015, 2016, we started developing that. And in 2017, we released carbon fiber for touring motorcycles. And that kind of just snowballed and snowballed and snowballed. So right now, I mean, we've got parts for, you know, some Dyna stuff, some Indian stuff, you know, new soft tail parts. And then obviously our heavy focus is touring bikes. That's we're touring guys, right? We're bagger guys. We always have been. And so we've got a very extensive line of carbon fiber, for touring bikes and things like that. And over the last few years, we've really gotten into billet parts. We've got CNC machines in-house now, where we're manufacturing product in-house to really, again, better the ride of the motorcycle. Fixing those problems, that come on a stock bike, or hey, you're changing this, you've got to change this also. So you're correcting a problem plus making it look better, right? It's all about looking better as well.
Do you have, I know you guys have been developing a whole bunch of new carbon and hard parts in general for the new models. Do you want to explain some of your guys' new products for the year?
Yeah, so 2020, when Harley released the 2023 and a half models, nobody had an idea what's going on, everything like that, right? So we were all doing the same old thing of, what can we fit off of a 2022 onto the new bike, right? There was a handful of parts that we had to change a little bit, tweak a little bit. But then, it was a whole new blank slate again, right? So for the 2024s, one of our biggest, most popular things right now is we're getting rid of the flip gas cap on them and going back to a regular style gas cap. But then like our little covers and stuff, our GPS covers, our cam cover with a proximity sensor cover. We've got, new floorboards out, new reservoir mounts out, a lot of new things that, push the envelope of, again, making the bike better, is the whole thing. So a lot of new 2024 parts that we've already released and a lot more in the works for us to release at Sturgis this year.
So one of the bikes behind you guys just finished up. Let's hear about that bike.
So in true tradition of what I do, I like to think outside the box. I like to, make people scratch their heads and get them really confused, right? Like, I always tell everybody, and everybody had a long conversation with a guy yesterday, and I'm not creative if I'm not at the lift working on a bike, right? Like, I'm not the guy that can sit at a computer and do this. I got to be at the lift, right? And I'm going to create something that's in my brain and not even put it on paper. We don't do renderings. We don't do drawings. It's literally we just start cutting and figuring out how we're going to do it, right? So last year I built a 2017 Road King into a chopper, and it's over in the showcase. And this year, this was kind of the same type of deal, but the kind of the bar opposite of it, where that bike from last year was a chopper. This year we went for a more of a sleek, stripped down Pro Street style, but doing the same thing, starting with a genuine Harley Davidson Road King with it. So we cut the bike all apart. We manufacture, the down tubes, the backbone, the cross members. We machine all the battery box components, the electrical holding components, the side covers on the bike. We machine the struts. So everything on this bike, we use a lot of different great companies as well. But it's really, these bikes are to showcase what we do. And the biggest thing is trying to blend that style that I grew up with of the choppers and Pro Streets of the late 90s, early 2000s, but blend it into the technology of today on the platform that I've been working with for the last, better part of 15, 20 years. So it's really trying to transform and blend it and give you a genuine custom motorcycle out of, the most popular Harley that's out there. And, that's what's cool is a lot of these guys that have been doing this longer than me, they're coming up, they're looking at the bike and they're like, how the hell, what do we, and they're excited about, right? Like, so it's getting people excited about custom again. And, that's what really is, makes me just foot on the gas of getting people that I looked up to for the last 30 years, they're coming in and saying, wow, it's the best bike here, right? And that's incredible.
Okay, so if you could choose one thing, actually, I'll give you two things that are your favorite part about that new build. What would it be?
So I'm a sucker because we're really big on the billet side of things right now, because we're really, head first diving in. We've got the machines now. We're doing it in-house. The side covers and struts would probably be at the top of that list. But then also just the way we did the chassis on it, with the swoop down tubes, the curved backbone in it, everything like that. I mean, it really is the fab work to me to make people not understand that that's a Road King. You know, that's the coolest thing is, you know, you get to tell them, yeah, man, that's a 2021 Road King. And that's what's fun about it. And then their minds just start spinning even more. Like, what? Yeah, you know, so that's when it's fun. You know, is doing something like that. So
obviously Nowoski has started selling your guys' carbon parts and some of your hard parts. How long have you known Pete, and what's your guys' relationship been like?
God, I don't even know the first time. I think it's just kind of been one of those, hey, it's industry, right? And then you start doing more and you become friends and you have more, you know, fun with it. And, you know, you can bounce back and forth and things like that. And, you know, I think it was last week we ran this over to the shop and, you know, he got on the dyno and just, you know, killed it. And we got the results. And, you know, now I can go out and ride it because, you know, I'm the first one to admit I'm not an ECM guy. I'm not a computer guy. I don't have a dyno. That's not what we do. We do this. And, you know, Pete's a wizard with that dyno and getting this thing where it was running, you know, killer. You know, so it's, you know, our thing is, and you look at, you know, the couple bikes that we have in here, you know, both the touring bikes that are built, you know, both have the Nowoski shocks on the back, the remote reservoirs. You know, I've been running them on the last few of my bikes, and, you know, it's just great components. And it's, you know, working with like-minded companies is really huge, really key, you know, instrumental in what we do and how we do business.
How important do you think it is for brands like yourselves and Nowoski and the other performance brands out there to like work together to help push the industry to build it?
Oh, I think it's key. I think it's instrumental beyond, you know, anything. I mean, like, you look at like what we've got going on at Sturgis, right? Where it's been dubbed at Black Hills Harley in Rapid City, we've all dubbed it Performance Row, right? You've got all of us there and we all feed off of each other, right? It's like, you know, Nowoski's is coming in with the suspension answer. We're coming in with the carbon fiber answer and some billet answers. You know, we've got, you know, Thundermax comes in with ECM solutions. You know, on that road, we've got, you know, SBC with, you know, crash bars and things like that. So it's like everybody that's genuinely here, you know, for the industry, we all work together, right? And you got Trask and D&D on both ends of the aisle too, right? And it's Trask for turbos and everything they do, and D&D for what they do. And it's like, that whole row, I mean, like, you know, if you get out to Sturgis, you've got to check out Performance Row, you know, in Sturgis. I mean, during rally, there's nothing like it for vendors. If you're into, you know, performance baggers, you know, soft anything, right? I mean, we've got answers to everything when it comes to just hop down the row, right? I mean, you got everybody right there, and it's all like-minded. We all go out, we all have a good time, we all work. Hey, you know what? We're doing this for you right now. Let me walk over. This is the suspension you need. Or, you know, SBC will bring somebody over. Hey, you know, the guy that's seen our parts on there, you know, your parts on our bike, let's get you that one, right? So, you know, that's the biggest thing is everybody that works together, it just strengthens the, you know, the industry. It really does. You can't, you know, you don't want to fight against guys. You want to work with the guys. You know, it's key. It really is instrumental in, you know, everybody succeeding and the industry still moving forward.
Well, this has been pretty good. Do you have any final thoughts you want to add? Anything else?
Dude, honestly, you know, just, you know, get out there, support the brands that are supporting the industry. That's the biggest thing, right? Get out there, you know, pay attention to, you know, who's moving and who's shaking and who's doing it and who's setting up places. You know, pay attention to the brands that are innovative, you know, with everything. You know, just, you know, that's the ones that are putting the time in, the R&D, and, you know, really get out there, support those brands, you know, so everybody can stay here and the industry keeps moving forward. You know, that's the biggest thing.
All right, Curtis. Well, maybe just close us out. Just a simple, I'm Curtis Hoffman with Hoffman Designs.
Hey, I'm Curtis with Hoffman Designs. Guys, appreciate it.